Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Car Reviews Podcast here with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Please remember, we also run the Collector Car Stories podcast, available by YouTube as well as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That one we have a little fun with. We talk to an enthusiast on every episode. Might be about a special car, a collection of cars, some event related to cars. Pretty soon we're going to launch one about what it's like to sell with CCC. So we're looking forward to some good viewership on that one. And please, if you like what we're doing here, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And why not share them with a friend who's car interested? Okay, back to the cars we're here to talk about. Just want to introduce the cars that you're about to see in this episode. We have three to show you. And the first, I'm really happy to report, is a car I knew about before it was submitted by the seller. And that's because I think it's the first time it's happened for our little business. We have sold this car before. It's a 1967 Buick Skylark, two-door hardtop coupe. And we sold this car out of Guelph, Ontario, back in 2022. Successful sale. In fact, when this car was sold, I'm not really sure all the whole story behind it. They told me the numbers and I didn't ask any questions, but it actually sold for more than asking price on Buy It Now back in 2022. The owner of it, the person who bought it at that time, has had his fun with it. And he's got a couple other projects on the go. I was lucky enough to see what they were because I was there when we shot the photos and videos for it. And you're also going to see me doing the review video for it. So he's decided to move it along, and we're really thrilled that he came back to us, having experienced CCC on the buyer side. Now he's seeing it from the seller side. So we are excited that he returned to us. So a bit about the car. It's a 67 Buick Skylark, two-door hardtop coupe, has a 300 cubic inch V8 engine, two-speed automatic drive in the rear wheels. It was refinished just before the last time we sold it in 2022. I think the paint went on it in the spring of 22, if not in 2021, by a paint shop we name in the detailed listing up in Guelph. And the mechanicals were also restored at that time, also by a shop in Guelph we name in the detailed listing. And it is lot 253 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. We're also going to show you a 1974 MGB GT. This one is refinished in red. The paint job's about 20 years old. No one claims it to be perfect, but it's good. Definitely a driver level car. Same thing, I was around for the car review, as you're about to see, and I got to move it around a little bit in the parking lot. A zippy little MGB. Of course, the GT implies it's not a roadster, so it's a fixed roof coupe, different from the convertible roadsters, which probably dominate MGB production. There are probably a lot more roadsters. I haven't admittedly done the research on that. But this car, as I say, it's orange over a black interior. It's got the original 14-inch wheels. It's got 5 of them, so the spare also comes with the alloys. It's a 1.8 liter engine, good for 97 horsepower, which, considering the size of the car gets around just fine. You'll be able to take a look at the driving videos on our detailed listing to get a sense of how well it moves around and what the engine sounds like under load. I'd say the same for the Skylark. But this MGB GT, it's lot 254 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. And a fun fact, people who've zoomed all around our website might have seen a little page we put together about the Ancaster British Car Show. I believe it was held April 20th, 2025. Yeah, it was. It was on Easter Sunday, so April 20th. If you're interested, hover over the home menu item on the home page. You'll see what we've seen come up, and you can go to the page there about Ancaster British. But the reason I thought of that was because the owner was there that day showing the car, and we shot the photos, videos, and car review video after the event, after the parking lot cleared out. So again, lot 254 for the 74 MGB GT in orange over a black interior. And lastly, 3 cars to tell you about, as I say. This one's a little more modern. I call this one Triple Trouble. Triple Trouble in that it's a low miler at under 90,000 kilometers. It's a West Coast car. So it was originally delivered by a dealer in Richmond, BC, and has been local the whole 21 years of its existence. And we know that because the third item in Triple Trouble is that it's the original owner. I better tell you what the car is. It's a 2004 Ford Focus SVT with the 6-speed manual, and with the SVT package, it's sort of a step up for Focus. It's double overhead cam engine, produces 170 horsepower. So as you'd guess, not a run-of-the-mill Focus there. So I was talking about Triple Trouble in that it's original owner, relatively low mileage, and a West Coast car. But to top it off, this one is being offered at no reserve. So the high bidder next Tuesday, that will be on today's May 1st and it's Thursday. So that's going to be Tuesday, May 6th. High bidder that day gets this car. Lots of underside photos that really speak to the heritage on the West Coast of this car. I always get a kick out of when I get to go to the West Coast. I personally have relatives in the LA area, so I get down to visit them a bit. And I have lived in Vancouver. I've got some friends there. Every time I go to either of those places, I just get such a kick out of ordinary cars driving around, looking great. It feels like I'm in a time machine. But with the lack of snow and the lack of salt on the roads, it's nothing exceptional at all to see a 40-year-old Honda or Toyota with no rust at all. So this Focus SVT really speaks to how easy it is to keep the exterior of a car nice and proper. Lots of photos supplied by the owner. This one is lot 245 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. The no reserve, sub 90K kilometer, original owner, 2004 Ford Focus SVT hatchback with the 6-speed manual. So enough intro, onto the cars. Thanks for watching. Here they come. Hi everyone, and welcome to another great car here on the Car Reviews podcast with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Today, from the esteemed collection of the big guy, we do have a one-pager on the site describing the recently passed Ford Lincoln dealer, long-time successful Ford Lincoln dealer, I might add, here in the Ottawa area, who left quite a collection of cars to his heirs and successors. The family's decided that some of them it will not get to use, so we have a few of them available on the site. So this is one of them. Despite being a Ford Lincoln dealer, this man originally earned his stripes in the Pontiac Buick world in the 70s, progressing all the way to general sales manager for another esteemed dealership up here in the Ottawa area. And so the Buicks of the 70s, I presume, had a special place in his heart. And when retirement came for him and he had some time to work on his own and play his own collection and play with some cars, this Riviera is one of the cars he chose. So this is a special Riviera for a number of reasons. It's a 1978, as I mentioned, and as such, it's the last year of rear drive for the Riviera. So you might remember the originals, or say in the 60s, where there were Toronados, Eldorados, and Riviera sharing the same platform. Well, the Riv at that time was the only one of those which was a rear drive. The other two were front drive, kind of early front drive vehicles for GM. So Riviera switched over to front drive in 1979 which is also a pretty model, but the traditionalists typically like the rear drive models. So this being a 78, it comes from the 75th year of Buick, and as you might expect, never one to miss an opportunity, GM had a special allotment made of these 75th anniversary Rivieras. Originally, it was planned to be 1,000 cars. However, they proved so popular that just under 3,000 were made, and this is one of them. So really, with the mileage this one has, it shows under 34,000 miles. We believe that to be authentic and original. We don't have the paperwork to support it. So we're technically, it's a true mileage unknown car, but a lot of the makings of this car certainly support that it's under 34,000 miles. We've included an appraiser's report on the detailed listing, and he speculates also that it might be original mileage only at under 34,000 miles. So that's a good intro, I think, on this 1978 Buick Riviera with the 75th anniversary package. You can see the clever license plate, Roman numerals for 75, following the 78 model year, of course. And we see the Roman numerals on some other badging on the car, which I will show you. So, all right, we'll take a look around the car and on to the next frame. Okay, so I don't think I mentioned the lot number earlier. This one's going to be lot 251 on CollectorCarCanada.CA, the 1978 Buick Riviera 75th anniversary edition. So it's a two-tone black and silver with a black vinyl roof. We'll cruise in on close to it and get a good look. One thing I'll mention is that the cars from the Big Guys collection we're offering are all stored in a dedicated facility and purpose-built, in fact. So they're very well stored in a heated facility. I will mention, though, they were cleaned in January. I'm shooting this video on April 17th, and you can see that the car's a little dusty. So I'd hate to point that out as a flaw, but I will acknowledge it in case you're noticing it through the video. So a few interesting items on this 75th anniversary Buick. It's got special badging, as you see there, on both fenders to denote the 75th anniversary of Buick. And the wheels are 15-inch, and they're skinned in a Cooper Lifeliner tire, Lifeliner Classic. The measurements on those are 225, 75, R15. So a square setup, same size at all four corners, and a matching set of both wheels and tires at all four corners. I was just reviewing an appraiser's report, the most recent appraisal that the car's had for insurance purposes, and the appraiser noted that the car's never been winter driven. He also used terms like exceptional and superior in his write-up. So it is an interesting placement in the Buick history, the last year of Riviera. So if someone's looking for a last year rear drive, I might have misspoken and said last year Riviera, last year rear drive Riviera, this might be the one to have, certainly. The appraiser's report does appear on our detailed listing for lot 251. So going a little further into it, a neat touch in the later 70s premium GM cars, those light up so that the driver can see when his indicator is flashing. Might not fit in Florida. You wouldn't be able to keep driving in the left lane with your blinker on, but a nice touch, certainly a luxurious touch. And here's a good look at the vinyl roof. It is a little dusty, but I don't really see any flaws in this vinyl roof, and that might speak to the likelihood of the under 34,000 mile odometer reading being true and a genuine. And a big rear window for the rear passengers on this two-door, and an R emblem. We see these R emblems throughout. They're on the center caps of each of the wheels. They're also incorporated into the taillight treatment. Here's another wheel to look at. It's matching 15-inch with the Cooper Lifeliner Classics. And this wasn't seen on every car this size in the late 70s, 4-wheel disc brakes, and that was noteworthy enough for Buick to rationalize putting a badge on it to that effect. So working our way back, and there's a good look at the rear window with the vinyl roof. Again, I don't see flaws on the vinyl roof. The car could use a good wash after a winter of storage. And as well as the fender emblems, there's that Buick 75 in Roman numerals, and you can see our emblem treatments on the tail lights here. And fortunately, the plates can't go with the car under law in Ontario, but 1978 and the Roman numerals for the 75. Bumperettes, even so, good chrome on both front and rear bumpers, but even the bumperettes and the vinyl treatment on those show very well. The recently passed Ford dealer with a GM background who left this car to his family, he acquired it in Ohio, and so he imported it himself. So a U.S. market car. We'll continue to work our way around. We get to see the two-tone paint in the sun. So black up above, silver through the belt line, and then black on the rockers down below as well. We also see Riviera here on the rub strip. Matching 15-inch wheels here on the rear with those Cooper Lifeliner tires. But a well-presented package all around. One item I did notice earlier when we were doing photos is that the original dealer's logo is on here. You can see Steubenville, Ohio. We also see the matching embossing that we see on all the pieces of glass, leading me to have a hypothesis that this might even be the original glass. Power antenna, you see it right here in the down position, being that the car is not running right now. And here's a good look at the 3/4 view on the front while it's sitting in the sun. So we're getting close to having a good look at the interior of the 1978 Buick Riviera. And before we do, I'm realizing there's one item of importance I left out here on the exterior. The one flaw I do find in the paint is here on the passenger side. I do see a bit of bubbling happening. I did check the driver's door. We'll go over and take a look, but I didn't see it there. But we do see it here on the upper frame of the passenger door. But let's take a look at the driver door, where we don't see any evidence of anything similar. A lot cleaner over here. So let's move on to the interior. There are some goodies over on the passenger side. We'll walk over and take a look at those directly. But gray interior. Well, we've got the exterior two-tone black and silver. I suppose we could say it's matching. We've got higher content of gray on the leather seats with the black piping. So a smart compliment, I guess I'll say. We do notice just a bit of wear here on the driver's seat, but only on this driver's seat. You see the old body by Fisher emblem. I think we saw those with GM through about 1983, so a very familiar piece to see on that door sill. We've got the contrast as well with the floor mats. You can see with that R emblem, these are Riviera floor mats, and I suspect they might be original given the black and silver theme of the car. I won't put my name on that though, so don't quote me on that, but certainly the Riviera floor mats, and the carpet underneath is really presentable still. And even the vinyl covering for the rest protection for the foots while using the pedals. Get that back into place. That mat could use a good vacuum, but otherwise in nice condition. Well-optioned car, as you might expect for the ribs. We've got power seat, several controls there. That's for mirror, windows here, and then power locks here. Familiar controls for those familiar with the 1970s and early 80s Buick rear drive cars. Climbing in, this steering wheel is an indication that we've got not so much of a regular unit with the 3-spoke style. Leather wrapped, as I say, with the 3 spokes. Instrumentation, we've got the speedometer, maxing out at 85 miles per hour, which would have been federally mandated in 1978 in the US. Again, this is a US model car. And we see the odometer checking in at under 34,000 miles. Believed original, but we cannot substantiate it. And there's a good look at the gear shift indicator. And then on the right, the larger gauge for the fuel. Wipers and lights to the left. And then, again, a little more premium than your typical 78 GM product. Similar fonts, though, that very familiar to me being around these cars at the time. But AC, and it's even got the climate control settings. And this is a remote mirror for the driver, or for the passenger side. Controls right there, and a defrost. And an AM FM stereo, so you switch AM and FM with this switch here. But better than that, it's got an 8-track player as well. And there's a good look at the 75. So down here, the owner's just has a little cup holder contraption, and even it's got a little bit of storage in there. So not a stock item, but certainly useful. So we'll call this a 60-40. Oh no, I guess we'll call it a 50-50 split bench. You can see there's a split between the two. And dual armrests, one for each side between passenger and driver. There are 3 belts in the front though, so we can legitimately call this a 6-passenger car. Here's a good look at the rear seat. There is the matching Riviera mats in here. There's just some winter mats here to protect those, but there's the black with the R to denote the Riviera, and three-seater back here as well, so with the middle belt. One minor flaw I'll say is the map pockets. They've lost a little bit of elasticity over the years. Working our way around to the passenger side. I'll show you some of the goodies that come with the car. This binder has a lot of neat stuff. Now, my hypothesis on this is that it was a dealer plate in 1978, but you can see the 1978 part. It'll go with the car, but the new owners caution they're not going to be able to register those plates to this car. But the owners are happy to send that out, being that it's 1978 noted. So a lot of goodies in this 3-ring binder, showing a lot of originality. We've got each page photographed in our gallery. This is the appraisal. Again, that's in the gallery as well. And some of the business side of things in this file. Typical car dealership habit, I would suggest, is that each car has a file. So that's the case for all of the cars we're listing from the Big Guys collection. Good look at the passenger side mat. So maybe it's time to have a look at the trunk. So working our way back to the trunk, a couple extra goodies back here as well. The goodies back here consist of a great collection of 8-track tapes. So they'll go with the car. So we got it 6x4, 24. Got to be at least 24 in the cardboard box as well. So probably 50 or so 8-track tapes. And I think that might be just decay from the cardboard box that we see there, flecking on the black carpet. And we've got a spare, which may not have been used either. When I see that blue striping, certainly it would indicate that it hasn't been used. It might even be the original spare that came with the car back in 1978. The labeling for jack usage is back here. Didn't want to spoil what this setup is, but I suspect the original jack is down there as well. But there's a good look at the trunk. So there's a good look at our 1978 Buick Riviera. Again, it's from the 75th anniversary of Buick, so that makes that they made a special edition under 3,000 units, and this is one of them certainly. 1978 with the 403 cubic inch V8 engine. Made it to a 3-speed automatic, driving the rear wheels only. Odometer shows under 34,000 miles. We believe it to be true, but have to classify it as true mileage unknown because we're not able to corroborate that. Available from the collection of the Big Guy. Again, if you haven't yet, please do take a look at our website for a little bit of discussion about that and this special collection of cars, some of which we're able to sell for the family. Lot 251, CollectorCarCanada.CA. Thank you for watching, and on to the next car. Hi everyone, and welcome to another great car here on the Car Reviews Podcast with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Today we have a 1974 MGB GT Coupe. So different from the MGB Roadsters, this one is a fixed roof coupe with a little back seat. This one's going to be lot 254 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. And I'll give it a start. We'll listen to the engine, exhaust, and we'll take a little tour of the car. I'll also remind you, take a look for our Collector Car Stories podcast. We have a lot of fun with those. They're a little different from the car reviews in that we talk to a fellow car enthusiast about a car they own, maybe a collection, an event, and we turn it into a little story. So have a look at those. And please do remember to like these videos, share them, and subscribe to our channel, please. It'll help the videos get to the people who will appreciate them. So without further ado, we'll give this 74 MGB GT a start. So nice, easy start, no trouble at all. I will say that this is not a cold start. That was not a cold start. We're currently at the Ancaster Fairgrounds. We're shooting this on April 20th, 2025. The owner of this car came over to the Ancaster British Car Show. So Collector Car Canada had a booth at the show, and we're taking advantage of location and shooting this video following the show. So he had driven the car over earlier. Again, lot 254, CollectorCarCanada.CA. I'll jump out of the car. We'll have a look at the engine and hear it running, as well as the exhaust, and then we'll have a tour of the car. Okay, so the 1974 MGB GT in orange on a black interior, lot 254 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Zooming in on the wheels and tires. So a familiar wheel. There are actually 5 of them, including one in the hatch, which I'll show you when we show the hatch. But you can see a MotoMaster tire here on what is believed to be the original MGB wheels. So the model name of these MotoMaster tires is an AW2. And here's a look at the sizing right here. Without my glasses, I can't see the exact sizes. By memory, I think they're 185 to 70 R14. So moving back in on the MotoMaster AW2, here we go. It looks like I had it right. 185/70 R14. And I think I saw a date code on these of 2015. So tires are looking to be 10 years old. One thing to differentiate this MGB GT from most of them is this gray stripe down the side, which not too gaudy. It adds a little bit of a sporting touch. Only 2 wipers on the MGB GT. You'd see 3 on a Roadster. Another neat period touch are the vent windows. So as you might guess, a 4-cylinder British sports car from 1974 is not equipped with air conditioning, and those vent windows do a nice job of getting some air in circulation in the cabin. Right behind them, a side mirror capped in chrome. This car does have side mirrors on both sides. Working our way past the stripe, you can have a look at the original rear wheel, lined in a general tire. I'll get to this in the hatch as well, but this general tire looks like it was swapped with the spare at one point, because there's a MotoMaster tire in the rear, the hatch that is, and the other 3 tires are the MotoMaster AW2. So I recommended to the owner that he switch it out. So the new owner is likely going to find this general tire in the hatch as the spare. Another neat touch too to help with air circulation is these rear side windows pop out. And of course, the car is equipped with a rear seat, so the passengers can operate those easily enough. So an MG, familiar logo, but this one's an MGB GT. Of course, GT to denote that it's the coupe body style with the 2+2 in back seat. There's the latch for the hatch cover, and here's a good look at the chrome finish. The underneath looked pretty good when we took a look at the underside photos. There's a good look at the underneath. And I think what I'll do is I'm finding the odd flaw in this MGB GT paint, and we'll take another walk around it with my handy dandy Toonie to point out the flaws with the Toonie as to give you a sense of perspective. Chrome covered gas cap. If you want to see it removed, take a look at our detailed listing for lot 254. We made sure to do that for our detailed listing. But that orange paint really does sort of pop in the sunlight here now that we're on the sun side of the car. There's a good look at it with the beautiful blue sky in the background, as well as the MGB GT stripe. We see a British Leyland logo here, right here on the front right fender. More evidence that this car likely had a radio. There's no radio in it now. The owner will include a radio should the new owner desire, but there's an antenna area that's been capped, so no functional antenna, being that there's no radio. Let's look at the front right wheel. So here's a good look at the black bumpers, which do show some wear, but certainly functional. Now I'm going to pull out my Toonie and I can show you some of the, I call them minor, but the defects do exist. So there's some stone chipping up here on the front. Pretty common after some highway riding. Of course, this car is equipped with overdrive, so 4-speed manual with overdrive, making the highway driving a lot more tolerable with a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder. So again, some stone chipping. Nothing too major. Easily a 10-footer in the vernacular of the hobby. And a little chip. I don't see any on the roof. The roof looks quite good. And then this is a little scrape here. That is not paint. As I run my finger over it, I can feel a little bit of orange paint's been removed there. And then the worst one, I like to show people the worst one so that they're not disappointed when they get to the car. But this would be the worst. I don't feel a dent as I run my finger over it, but there is a big chip in the paint there. I can just feel the paint absent as I run my finger over it. And I do note over here, there's a little breakage in the paint, nothing too serious. And then on the rear, sort of both within 1.5 inches or 2 of the reverse lights. You can see that line and this line. I'm not sure why that's there, but I notice it. And working our way around. So an equally functional black bumper, if not super duper shiny on the rear. Here's a little chip here, quite small relative to our Toonie. A couple little ones on the edge of the door. And I guess a little bit of a scratch here on the passenger's door. A couple other light ones down here. So I think that's a good look at the exterior of the car. I'll finish up with a glamour shot from the very front. But boy, that orange paint really does look good in the sunshine. And we'll move over for a tour of the interior. So a demo on how we close the MGB hood. This gets released here. We raise it a bit, and you can see that piece propping it up disappears. And we're close. So we're going to take a look at the interior next. One neat feature are these vent windows. We should have those open for the video. But moving to the interior, you can see the door sills have got an aluminum plate with the MGB GT emblem. So as I think I mentioned earlier about the MGB Roadsters, that would have been the preponderance of MGBs. They would have mostly been Roadsters. So that makes these GTs a little different. But bucket seats in the front and a little jumper seat in the rear. So I'll call it a 2+2. You wouldn't want to have big adults in the rear for too long, but in a pinch they work just fine. There's a good look at the repaint on the hinges. And moving to the center, I will mention that that MG logo is in place. It's a blank for a radio. There are a couple of speakers in this car. So at one time I suspect it did have a radio, and the owner of the car said if the new owner would like a radio, he'll throw one in with the deal. But getting a good look at the instrumentation, all by Smiths, common among British cars of the period. Speedometer topping out at 120 miles per hour. I think I see 54,560 on the odometer, but this car is a true mileage unknown car, 51 years later, without documentation to monitor the whole time. Got a tach maxing out at 7,000 RPM with a red line of 6,000. Fuel gauge on the left, some HVAC controls and lights controls on the right, as well as a temperature, fan, and more HVAC controls on the right. That is a choke, a manual choke control as well. When I did the startup portion of this video, I did not use the choke. So being that the engine was, I won't say hot, but it had been warm, a little bit warm. We had shot the driving videos immediately before this one, but I didn't need the choke for the warmed engine. And a voltmeter, which looks like it's been added, and a hazards as well. Here's the glove box, lockable. There is a picture of that in our detailed listing for lot 254. Pictures of it open and closed. But a smart and functional black interior on the 74 MGB GT. I will point out a flaw on the driver's seat. The cloth has been torn here, so the padding is exposed, and there's a tight little tear down there on the seat bottom as well. So you can see the handbrakes engaged, and newer MGB GT mats for both driver and passenger. And we'll take a look at the back seat by releasing this lever. Well, the horn works. The front seat just popped the horn there. And you can see the seat bottom of the rear bench. Let's see if I can reach to put that seat back up. You can see it there. So a tidy little package. And I'll give you a look at the hatch. So it's unlocked right now. It's just a latch that you undo. And those just catch and lock the hatch cover into place. There is a spare tire under here. I noted actually that this tire matches 3 of the tires on the car. So I recommended to the seller that he put the one we just saw in the spare as the driver's rear tire, because it's mismatched. There are 4 Motomaster tires, AV2, that come with the car, as well as a general. And you can see there's a jack there too for changing the tire in a pinch. So that's a good look at the interior of the car. Let's move along to some closing thoughts. All right, so there's a good look at our 1974 MGB GT. It's going to be lot 254 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. It's finished in orange. It's a repaint. It's originally a red car. Having spent some time with the car, I did not see any remnants of the red paint, so it's a pretty good orange paint job with the flaws we showed you. and that's over a black cloth interior. All the MGBs, I think, would have been vinyl interior. This one being a GT with a hard roof, not being worried about getting caught in the rain. It's got a cloth interior. It's powered by a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine, mated to a 4-speed manual with overdrive. That's an important distinction, I think, for the MGB folk out there. Drive the rear wheels, and that's a good synopsis of the mechanicals of the car. Take another look at the video if you want to see the details again. Again, our detailed listing is lot 254. We've got over 100 photos, probably over 150 photos there. Several videos, including the car driving. So have a look, and that'll about do it for this car. Thank you for watching, and on to the next car. Hi everyone, and welcome to another great car here on the Car Reviews podcast with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Today we have an interesting car. I almost want to call it triple trouble, but it's actually quadruple trouble. The first three items I had in mind for triple trouble were that it's an original owner car, a low mileage at 90,000 kilometer car in the nice, easy climate of British Columbia. So original owner who lives just outside of Vancouver, where the winters are mild and the cars last much longer in terms of body. And the fourth item that puts it over the top for me is that it's a no reserve car. So the high bidder at the end of our 1 week auction takes this car. So it's a no reserve, original owner, 90,000 kilometer, 2004 Ford Focus SVT hatchback with a 6-speed manual. So no ordinary Focus. The SVT really differentiates it from other Focuses. SVT stands for Special Vehicle Team in Ford parlance. So this car is a 5-door, and like I say, it's a low kilometer car and original to BC, and that's where it's available. It's available in Richmond, British Columbia. Sonic blue on a blue and black SVT interior with 170 horsepower. As I look at the video that the seller has provided, it starts out with the car starting up, and right away you can see the white-faced gauges specific to the SVT model. And in the tachometer, you can see the SVT logo. Starts easily. You can also see the odometer reading just under 90,000 kilometers. So it's in the 89s at the time the startup video was shot. As well as the SVT instrumentation, you'll see the 6-spoke SVT rims. Now those are skinned in a great set of tires. They are Michelin Pilot Sport all seasons, and those are with a Y rating. So the owner did not skimp on the tires that are on the car right now. Continuing into the engine bay, you see the SVT emblem on the 2-liter inline 4. Again, good for 170 horsepower in terms of the factory rating. Our photo gallery shows several photos of the underside, which lends credence to what I said earlier about the West Coast cars. The easy climate there is a lot easier on the cars than where we're based here in central Canada. So the car does have the SVT specific interior. The blue and black two-tone on the seats just gives a bit of a sporty feel. And as I was mentioning, the white-faced gauges. An important characteristic for British Columbia buyers, in case this car stays in BC, it does qualify for ICBC collector plates. The people in BC will know what I'm talking about here. People outside of BC, it probably doesn't affect your decision on this car. So a few options, great options on this sort of well-to-do Focus. Factory fitted moonroof, factory fitted audiophile audio system, which even comes with a subwoofer you'll see in the photos of the hatch area. It's got an active alarm and it's got the VIN window etching for security. The car's been dealer serviced, and the owner says he's always kept up with scheduled maintenance. You'll see on our listing that there are a lot of dealer provided work orders on hand, and those will go to the new owner of the car. So going back to our video footage, walking away from the engine bay as it's running, you can see that 6-spoke SVT specific wheel, and you can see the sonic blue finish retains an original shine. Please take a look at our detailed listing. You'll find a Carfax there, setting out the history of the car. But yeah, blue badging on the rear. Nice clean car. It really does look like it's well kept as we work our way around it. 5-door model, so 4 doors for passengers plus the hatch at the rear for 5 doors. And clear glass. Working our way back to the front of the car, you can see the color-coded side view mirrors, and that engine at idle really does sound healthy and strong with the SVT badging, of course, on top of it. As I say, this car is still owned by the original owner, and he's been fastidious enough to retain. He was interested enough in the car when it was purchased to take photos of delivery day, and he's been fastidious enough as a 21-year owner of this car to retain those photos. So you'll see some of those photos on our detailed listing from when he took possession of the car from the Ford dealer back in 2004. And along with that, as you might expect, there's some original vehicle documentation, including the window sticker and the SVT Special Vehicle Team certificate of authenticity on the online listing. So the car also comes with 2 keys, both with fobs and a custom vehicle cover. So don't miss this one. As I say, quadruple trouble, no reserve, original owner, 90,000 kilometer BC history, 2004 Ford Focus SVT hatchback with a 6-speed manual. It's going to be lot 245 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Please do take a good look at our detailed listing there. Again, lot 245 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Thank you for watching, and on to the next car.